死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなに家賃が多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君、まだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ、万歳、ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランド、スライドまで。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界、季節いけるかな。昔グレートだと、大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコ掴んでいいさ。そう。言い話せるで。
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy to see all of you here. I said I was going to try to do double CobraCast today, so here is the first one. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a ton to cover, and it's all centered around the biggest cover-up in United States political history, and it's not even close. And we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now. And we've got a 20 to start us off with Eric Guidewall. I am at work right now. I will have to watch this later. However, I will drop this super chat to support the 199. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good day at work, man. Logan Miller with 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Logan Miller with the 5 gifties in the house. And we're going to jump right into it because things are crazy right now online, and it's all centered around the cover-up of Joe Biden and his cancer, which I think almost anyone, even retarded people, know that this is a lie. Like, even the retarded people know it. Now, that doesn't mean that the retarded people think it's a problem, but even the retarded people out there know we've been duped. Like, this is absolutely insane. And one tweet in particular that I saw was from Matt Walsh that I'll pull up here. Let's see. Matt Walsh pulls this tweet right here. This tweet from Matt Walsh. Their plan to engineer the first female president was to push through a cancer-riddled dementia patient, get him reelected by whatever means necessary, let him die, and then have her take over. I have never seen a more accurate description of identity politics and how evil it is. This is the most accurate and on point description of what their plan is. I think everybody needs to thank President Trump. Make him king at this point. You know what? Because it's necessary, I got to pull a video up. Okay? Because I need to emphasize how important it is. Okay? Are you ready? Let's see. Is this it? I want to remind all of you, every single person has to thank President Trump. Kevin just dropped 50 gifted memberships. Holy crap. And Lying Dogface Pony Soldier dropped it a gifted membership. The gifties are flying today. They are flying. What a damn way to start the day off. 50 gifted memberships from Kevin. Let's go. Okay, so I need everyone to understand, every person watching this video, every person that will be watching on the replay, everybody on social media, make Trump king. Do you know why we make Trump king? Because if we didn't make, if it wasn't for President Trump, this is what we would have gotten for the next 4 years. Roll the footage.
Okay. you're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
Yeah. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
let's talk about
You
packing.
once
Come
again
on,
gave a non-answer. Joe Biden gave a non-answer.
trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No.
Be important if you said the truth. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week.
You landed haymakers on Joe Biden. How do you go from being such a passionate opponent?
It was a debate.
Ron Gold has said that he is for the legalization of marijuana recreationally. Your thoughts on that?
That he is entitled to his opinion.
So if it was legalized all throughout the country and medicinal, would you do it?
Listen,
again?
I think that it gives a lot of people joy, and we need more joy.
My goodness. That is what Donald Trump stopped. Not only her, he also stopped Hillary. King him or emperor. I'm okay with Emperor Trump. Logan Miller, you don't have a membership, but you're throwing the gifties out there. Shout out to Logan Miller. So yeah, that's what Trump stopped right there. And going back to Matt Walsh's tweet one more time, their plan to engineer the first female president was to push through a cancer-riddled dementia patient, get him reelected by whatever means necessary, let him die, and then have her take over. That is exactly what the plan was. And on top of that, look at here. Listen to this on Morning Joe. Again, we all remember Joe Scarborough said that Biden was the sharpest version of Biden we've ever seen. He's never been better. Yada, yada, yada. We heard that time and time again. I've played that clip many a times. This is this morning on Morning Joe.
You believe it is likely, if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone, that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer,
Bro, there's no you know what speculation was? Everything you've said for the last decade, Joe Scarborough, has been speculation because you have had absolutely nothing to base anything you've said off of it. You've had no basis for any of it. Yet you've spewed nonsense, primarily about Donald Trump.
Cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
And I'm just curious again, if your doctor to a president of the United States that is a male, that is an older man, would a prostate test, and again, we're just talking about a PSA screening, a blood test that you could do along with all the other blood tests. It's not even that it would be intrusive. Would this not be one of the first tests that you would conduct as a White House doctor?
If you're a White House doctor in this situation, I think you would certainly discuss it with the president and talk about the pros and cons. I think if you then ask, well, if President Biden says, well, if I'm your father, which patients often do, what would you recommend? I think the fact is that most White House doctors would recommend getting the test. And again, the evidence is, look at President Obama, President Bush, younger than President Biden, and they both got the test.
Everything is being exposed right now, right before our very eyes. And I will just say, based on what we've seen, now that they are releasing all of this information that has clearly been something they've been hiding for years and years and years. I'm now more worried about President Trump than I have been in a long time. I'm very, very worried about President Trump because there's no way the Democrats recover from this unless they can get rid of Trump. Trump is the one thing that has stopped them from completely destroying this country. He's the one thing. He's the one person that has stopped all of this. This is absolutely insane. Without Trump, we would be looking at Democrats dominating the United States of America, destroying the United States of America, bringing in illegal immigration, destroying everything that this country has stood for. If it wasn't for Trump, it's crazy how single-handedly this man has stopped the world domination of the Democrats. I don't think we can fully, I mean, even me, I follow this shit and I have a hard time processing just how much or how impressive it is what Trump has accomplished. Even I have trouble comprehending, and I follow this shit. I've been preaching about it for years. And one person that we certainly need to give credit to is the person that broke this story and got a lot of hate for it. And that would be Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer, do I have her tweet? Let me see if I can find her tweet. Laura Loomer broke the story of Joe Biden and his health, I believe in 2024. And no one, not no one, but like a lot of people basically dismissed her claims, dismissed everything she had to say. And Laura Loomer was correct. Here it is right here. Here's the tweet. This is July 22nd of 2024. Joe Biden is now in the terminal stage of his illness. This is what my medical source in DC has confirmed to me. I told you all weeks ago he had a medical emergency on Air Force One and that you'd be seeing resignations. Everything I said was true. Most people don't know Air Force One has a full medical emergency triage center on the plane. There's even an operating room on Air Force One. Just because people don't know these things doesn't mean my reporting was incorrect. It just means I'm ahead of the curve. Absolutely ahead of the curve. She deserves full credit. She deserves apologies from thousands and thousands of people. She was way ahead of the curve. Unbelievable stuff, man. And this is only going to get worse. I saw this right here. Brian Kilmeade says Jill and Hunter were actually running the country. Let me catch up on Super Chats and then we'll watch this. Oracle of Doom says, hail the great Cobra Commander. Hail the mighty 199. Thank you. Schick says, there is no way you get diagnosed that late, in that late stage as president. Yeah, I mean, the president of the United States has the best medical care of any human being on the planet. And we're supposed to believe that this just slipped through the cracks. Stop it, man. Stop it. Saratoga for 20 says, I had a friend fall suddenly ill 2 years ago and found out in days she had aggressive cancer spread to her bones from likely random mutation in the past month. She died 3 months later. Not negating a possible cover-up, though. Well, and first of all, sorry about your friend. Obviously, that's horrible. But your friend is not the president of the United States, who is around 80 years old at the time of all of this going on. So Joe Biden had there's not an argument. Joe Biden had the best medical treatment of any human being on the planet because he was the president of the United States. When you are the president of the United States, you have the best of the best. There's no way they didn't know. Like, this is just a fact at this point. There's no discussion to be had. And thank you again for the $20. I appreciate it. And rest in peace, your friend. But yeah, there's no way. There's no way that this slipped through the cracks. None. Thomas says, looking at Twitter, even the most brain rot libtards are responding to Dr. Emmanuel video from MSNBC this morning. He said 100% Biden had cancer in 2021. Yep. Patriotic Eagle says the Democrats feared a second Trump term so much they lied about a man's health, a man's physical condition, and cancer diagnosis. They are evil. Yes. As a matter of fact, I've got another. Let me show you this one before we watch the video from Fox News. It's right somewhere. Here we go, right here. A fake president, a fake election, a fake health report, a fake cognitive report, a fake oval, a fake economy, fake jobs, fake interviews, fake gas prices, fake news. What wasn't fake? It was all fake. Everything the Democrats and the mainstream media have been pushing for the last decade. I mean, obviously even longer than that, but specifically in the Trump era, everything they have told you is a lie. Everything. Paul 95 says, surprise CobraCast stream with lunch LFG. Subway J says, Jeremy, Democrats, Democrats sucking a foot long right now. Kelly Goth says, CEO of CBS News gone as well. That will push them too. Yes, I did. I saw that. Okay, so let's go to this Kill Mead video really quick. Here we go.
The fastest, most impactful monologue in America. And the theme this week, the cognitive collapse in a vacant White House. You know, this has been a week of international accomplishment for President Trump. Think about it. He shows America first is not America alone, reshaping our relationship with the Middle East in real time, with dynamic stops and trillion-dollar deals. First stop was Saudi Arabia, then to Qatar.
We're dealing with really good people that have been abandoned in a way by our country and by the United States. And we're not going to abandon. We have very good friends in Saudi Arabia and in Qatar.
Yep. And the United Arab Emirates investing $1.4 trillion in the United States. It's going to help all of us, but not in oil, in the military and in AI.
Look at that. That's a real president right there. There's celebration. There's enthusiasm. World leaders are excited to meet him. There's respect. They're making deals. It's helping them. It's helping us. It's bringing enthusiasm to the board. This is what a real leader does. And I will continue to repeat the points. Please, if you have not, go watch The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice. All of the things that Donald Trump was talking about in those boardrooms when he was firing people, when he was challenging people. He's doing all of that on the world stage now. It's absolutely crazy, dude.
We've been investing in the United States for decades, but now we're taking it one step further, not only in terms of size, but in terms of trust. And we're grateful for President Trump for that.
And they're grateful for the respect and the relationships. And I think it's going to pay off. You know, with strong job numbers that you're looking at, surprisingly high, surprised everybody, including the experts. Inflation in retreat, you see that. Production increasing. The economy is beginning to roll almost as strongly as President Trump's foreign policy. Which
Kevin says, watching those now, oh man, if it's the first time you've ever seen it, you will enjoy it so much. You'll enjoy it so much. I promise you, especially The Celebrity Apprentice. Man, because it's one thing, like it's obviously cool to see Trump on The Apprentice, but you've got a bunch of people that just their dream is to work for President Trump. It could change their life, all of that. On The Celebrity Apprentice, you're dealing with celebrities, people that have money, people that have fame, connections. And so that's obviously a little bit more difficult to manage those personalities. And they all are in awe of President Trump, or at the time, Donald Trump at the time. They call him Mr. Trump on the show. They're all in awe of Trump. Even these celebs, these ego-driven celebrities, they all are just like, yes, sir, Mr. Trump. No, sir, Mr. Trump. Oh, I'm intimidated by Mr. Trump. Oh, he makes me so nervous. It's crazy to watch. It's awesome.
Makes me think, what's missing? Oh, yeah, the Democrats. How are they, dare I say, moving on or joining in with the Republican momentum? Put simply, they've been disheveled, disgruntled, and disgraceful. Yes, the party known for its discipline is cracking wide open in all directions before our very eyes. And although they love to blame President Trump, as usual, this time it won't fly. You can honestly say he wasn't even home during their collapse.
Yep.
Their plan of attack is just to attack. and it's nothing short of offensive.
So yes, you do support an exemption on tariffs for products that are essential for families for their babies.
Exemptions on E4 items, which
I'm sorry, I have to reclaim my time. I'm reclaiming my time. I am, Mr. Chair, I am.
Why are they so disrespectful and angry? This is how they are. Democrats are evil. There's no other way to say it. They're evil. They're evil people. They're evil and they're unhappy and they want to make you unhappy. If you are happy, Democrats look at you and they say, we want you to be unhappy and miserable too. Your happiness makes them mad.
Claiming my time. Give me my time back.
You believe this? You have the Treasury Secretary there and you just yell at him. The question for Democrats is, what are you doing? You going after Kristi Noem for rounding up, locking up, and sending out criminal illegals?
What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia pursuant to this court order?
It's got to be extremely discouraging to be one of your constituents. To see you fight for a terrorist like this and not fight for them is extremely alarming to me.
The letters MS and the number 13 in Times Roman numeral font, that they are doctored on this photo, right?
That's what. This is what they're worried about. They're worried about if there were words photoshopped on this picture to explain what the tattoos meant. That's their focus right there. Good God.
Congressman Abrego Garcia.
No, I'm just asking about this photo. Madam Secretary, I have a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old. I have a bull detector. I'm just asking you, is this doctored or not doctored?
Yeah, it's funny. His BS detector, not good to find out what Fang Fang was really up to, right? Why are you talking to her like that? She is leading one of the most substantial illegal immigrant crackdowns ever that has produced a 97% reduction in border crossings. Of course, Tom Homan leading the way, and sent Border Patrol recruiting soaring. That's how you talk to her? Then these political geniuses decide also, I have another focus. They said, why don't we just storm an ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey? Yeah, that was the mayor. Do you think the American people have trouble sleeping if murderers, rapists, and thieves here illegally are living in challenging conditions? And by the way, they are not. It's pristine. Front and center now, RFK Jr. and the Maha movement this week, cracking down on processed food. That's what he's doing, calling out food giants face to face, focusing on chronic diseases, making it the #1 priority. So how do you treat him when he comes to Capitol Hill to testify? Watch.
The cuts are not true cuts. The cuts are eliminations of waste, abuse, and fraud. And I can go through. I can go through the people who will lose it. There are a million people. There are a million people,
really don't
Senator.
mean to be rude, but as you know, I have a very limited amount of time.
You asked the question, I'm going to answer it. Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days. My time has expired.
Well, then so has your legitimacy.
Oh, my
Clowns,
God.
Right? RFK seems to be the new Elon Musk with Democrats. Someone told them, you just act.
How can anyone support these clowns? One more time. One more time. We got to hear that.
But as you know, I have a very limited amount of time.
You asked the question, I'm going to answer it. Congressman DeLauro, you say that you've worked for 20 years on getting food dye out. Give me credit. I got it out in 100 days. My time has expired.
Well, then so has your legitimacy.
What a clown, right? RFK seems to be the new Elon Musk with Democrats. Someone told them, you just act angry and you'll win. And my question to you is, win what? They have to fundamentally figure out what they stand for. And what's even more important, what the country needs. Some are making a legitimate effort to figure it out.
Use the word equity, use equality to your little heart's desire. This is another really stupid word, oligarch. Who the knows what an oligarch is?
Exactly.
No, it's such a weird word to use. That was good. That was good.
That's the tour that's getting a lot of people, by the way, 2 socialists out there running about. The worst part of the week, the full unmasking of the biggest lie to date, Joe Biden, and the fact that they were telling us that he was running the country. We knew he wasn't. Now they know we know. They lied about Biden's cognitive decline. Now they're acting surprised, even though it's fully exposed now that Joe's been deposed.
We should just be honest as a party that we made a mistake. We should have been stronger in calling for him to run.
I mean, there were a lot.
Are you kidding? Run! You should have pulled him out. He wasn't doing
a mistake by what? Running him in 2024? No. You didn't make a mistake. You lied, and that's the problem that they're facing right now. You lied to the American people about this man's health. And you did it because of TDS. You did it because of trunk derangement syndrome. This is how bad TDS is. If there's ever been an example of how bad TDS is, this is it right here. They were willing to put a cancer-ridden old man in the office who didn't even know where he was at, couldn't even recall what year his son died. They were willing to throw that man in office, all for Orange Man Bad to stay away.
Doing anything. This week, we saw the release of a 3rd book by a left-wing author exposing the fact that Joe Biden was not running the country, wasn't capable of running a meeting, wasn't up to formulating or executing a policy.
There's actually an excerpt in the book where it says he forgot your name in December 2022. He called you Steve a couple of times. Did that happen?
I do not recall that ever happening. And I will tell you, Joe Biden knows my name.
Right. That's pretty good. When you know the National Security Advisor defends you by saying he knows my name, Steve or Jake, whatever. We suffered, and now they'd like us not to forgive, but to buy their buck. Please don't. There was a cognitive collapse. It was a vacant White House. We were all in jeopardy because of it. They locked out Biden's cabinet, and everyone but his family was not allowed near him. Here's a horrifying thought, and I think it's true. Jill and Hunter were actually running the country, and the results were nothing short of catastrophic.
If that's the case, how can there not be arrests made at this point? If that's the case, how can there not be arrests made? This is the definition of a national security nightmare. How?
And now it's the blame game on steroids.
The leaders of the Democratic Party, the staff of the White House, and I have to say, I find everybody now talking to these authors, get out of here. Go home. You're part of the problem. Now you tell us.
Chuck Todd, you are the fucking problem. Chuck Todd, you've been lying about Donald Trump since 2016. Chuck Todd is a fucking piece of shit. The fact that Chuck Todd wants to get up there and preach and claim that everyone else is the problem, you are the problem.
The White House was lying, not only to the press, not only to the public, but they were lying to members of their own cabinet.
I didn't, I was busy working.
So you didn't
I can't
see signs
speak
of
to
decline?
that directly.
So you didn't see any?
I didn't see the president frequently.
Yeah, now no one ever saw the president, right? Now there are others who want to move on.
So on one hand, Joe Biden works all the time, guys. He's the hardest working president. He's always up. He's always making decisions. He's in the war room late at night. Now, suddenly, I didn't really see him that much, guys. What happened to Joe Biden was such a hard worker, and he was always up, and he was always taking phone calls, and he was always handling business to, I didn't really see him that much.
Would you want Biden to campaign for House Democrats?
We're not looking backward. We're looking forward.
We're just looking forward. We're looking forward.
I'm interested in going forward.
I'm not. I am not.
We're looking forward, guys, even though all we do is talk about Russia, and find people on both sides bullshit.
Not moving on. More importantly, the American people are not moving on. They're not going to forget. They have yet to come clean in their 4-year debacle, and I'm fed up with it, and it angers me. They're trying to make money off it.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
100%. Well said, Brian Kilmeade. Trucker Mark says, this is BS. I will believe this when he is on Deadpool list. McFly says, I'm sending this super chat to troll you. Kale Yacht says, say his name, he appears. I believe in Donald Trump. Jared Armstrong says, I just got here. I'm hearing that Dems are demanding that the DOJ shut down investigations on Biden and his administration because he has cancer. Is this true? I haven't seen that per se, but that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me at all. June's Melody says, if I don't even know how to say his name, Albreco Garcia was brought back to the U.S., the Dems would throw a parade for him and build statues of him. Yes, they would, just like they did St. Floyd, good old St. Floyd. The Exalted Patriarch says, Biden and his administration wished us unvaxxed a winter of severe illness and death. Zero sympathy for 46. Hail God, Emperor Trump. Randor for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. CG says, I do not recall translation. I know the truth, but admitting it will damage the narrative. Yep. And again, let's just remember Jake Tapper, the clown from CNN who's claiming to be ahead of this and break the story with his new book. This was him with Laura Trump.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
It's very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable.
You have no I can't. That's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline. President Biden embraces his stutter, talking about it, while Trump mocks it, exaggerates it, belittles it. He's sharp physically. I mean, mentally. Yeah. I think the question is physically, right? Right. More so? Right. Right. And the guy who's his chief opponent is only 3 or 4 years younger than him. Exactly. I mean, you have questioned President Biden's age, mental fitness, ability to lead. Of those supporting Biden, you said, quote, shame on all of you pretending everything is okay. You're leading us and him into a disaster. Do you worry that you damaged him at all? I don't doubt that you got hugs and handshakes behind closed doors today, and maybe even publicly, some of them because they like you personally. But I've heard a lot of really nasty stuff about you from your Democratic colleagues. Sure. I mean, just like, what is he thinking? Exercise in narcissism. I mean, false claims to the Wall Street Journal about President Biden's mental fitness and acuity. He's 81, and his memory, it doesn't seem great. It's not horrible, but I don't understand the outrage. Quote, behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping, unquote, the Wall Street.
You can see how corrupt they are. And I don't know if it shows it in this video, but like Jake Tapper has this book that he's releasing. I believe they connected with Axios, and they're pretending that they're the ones that have broke the story of Joe Biden's cognitive decline and all of that. It's like, no, you didn't. You lied about it. You are part of the problem.
The Journal is owned by News Corp, which is run by the Murdochs. Beyond the headline, there is some critical nuance here. The article is mostly based on observations of Republicans, with former Speaker Kevin McCarthy the only one going on the record. They do note in the article that most of the criticism comes from Republicans. Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about him seeming a little slower? No. The Russians are trying to make us and the public not trust our election integrity. Joe Biden has dementia, all this stuff.
Unbelievable. And that's the cover of Jake Tapper's book, President Biden's Decline. It's cover up and his disastrous choice to run again, Jake Tapper. This is why the mainstream media is dead. This is why the rise of independent media has destroyed them. This is why President Trump won, because people don't trust the media that's lied about him for over 8 years. The media that's lied about Trump and lied about Biden and lied about Harris, lied about Clinton, lied about everything. And the difference is their lies about Democrats are in an attempt to make the Democrats seem so much better than they really are. And their lies about Trump are meant to make Trump seem so much worse than he really is. They want to make Trump seem like he's the new Hitler. He's Hitler reincarnated. And the Democrats are just a party of peace, love, and joy. And they're just trying to stop this evil dictator from taking over the United States of America and targeting LGBTQ plus IAC3PO people. That's the whole argument that they've had. Trump does gaming. That sounds like a great channel. Trump does gaming. Love the show, Jeremy. I wanted to get the word out for my Gen Z conservative Seattle Discord. If anyone wants to join my TikTok and IG, we are Seattle MAGA. Hell yeah, man. It's nice to see we got some MAGA peeps up there in the Seattle area. Piano Dean says Shakespeare said it best. Let's see. Frailty, they name is woman. Specifically, Jill Biden. I messed that one all up. Panic at Skyfaller. Liberals on X are using this as a battering ram to say no one can be critical of Biden. Where was that energy when Trump was nearly unalived on TV? That I think that the attempt was to make this where you couldn't criticize Biden. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that this has backfired gloriously on them. I don't think that this is played like they wanted it to. I think that the mainstream and the Democrats thought that this news of Biden was definitely going to get the sympathy out there. And from what I've seen on social media, even the Democrats are just like, yeah, this is fucking bad. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. They can't even push the sympathy thing anymore because it's so obvious what has been done. Like, there's not even a strong argument against it. Even people that hate Trump, they're just hating Trump more, but they're not trying to defend any of this because I don't think they can. There's no defense of it. You just can't. You cannot defend what we are seeing. And you know that's when the Democrats and the left can't defend it. It's really, really bad. Now, I made a tweet right here. Where's it at? Here's a tweet right here. Why is that badge there? Here, let me refresh. Get that promote bullshit off of here. My name's not Ben Shapiro. I don't have to promote to make people think I'm more popular than I am, like little fucking Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire, who pumps millions of dollars into ads on Facebook to make Ben Shapiro seem more popular than he really is. But right here, the people that believe the lies about Biden's health are too stupid to even realize it. The people that push the lie about Biden's health are too evil to care about being exposed. That's a sad and scary reality. And that is the truth right there. That is the truth. So let's see here. Quinn says, bring back the beard of shame for Jake Tapper. Democrats have no shame. They have absolutely none at all. Let's see here. Okay, I've got more bookmarks pulled up because it's been a wild day of people reacting across the board. Right here, here's another clip. So I haven't seen this one, but this is from Colin Rugg. And apparently, David Axelrod, Jake Tapper, and Van Jones put on quite the performance, pretending like they had no clue about Biden's mental decline. Tapper even made sure to give his new book a shout out where he exposes the Biden cover up that he helped make happen. Oh my God, I got to hear this. I have not heard this one.
You were on the record in 2022.
Audio's a little low.
Concerns about Biden's age and ability. Whom do you blame for the decision of him to run for re-election and the decision to hide his declining abilities as much as they were able to?
Well, look, at the top end, you have to blame him because he made the decision. But he was, and your book reflects this in many different ways, he was shielded by a coterie of advisors and his family. They were in this confirmation bubble, and they tried to shield the world from his decline, and they tried to shield him from his own standing. And his polling numbers and so on. And so at the end of the day, I have to point the finger at the people around him who didn't do him a service by encouraging him to continue. I think it was obvious to the public. It may not have been obvious to a lot of politicians. I actually think it was, but it wasn't politically wise in their judgment to speak out. But it was obvious to the American people, even before that debate, that the president was just too old. He would have been closer to 90 than 80.
Dude, you motherfuckers sit here and challenged anyone that dared to ask questions about Biden's ability to lead and even form a sentence. You, not only did you challenge people, you attacked people. You attacked people for this. You ran defense for him, and now you're pretending that you're just had no idea, guys, and the people that were around him, like, oh my God, man.
If he had won re-election, and he already was showing decline. So I blame the people around him, because real loyalty, and it's hard when you work for President Jake to tell them hard truths, but real loyalty demanded that they say, Mr. President, it's just not there, and it's not in your interest, and it's better for you, the country, and the Democratic Party if you leave now.
Van, I remember how emotional you were in the immediate moments after the June 27th, 2024 debate because of what you saw on this.
Yes, we remember when Van Jones cried like a little bitch on national TV. We remember this.
Stage. And with all this new reporting coming out, and I should disclose that I gave both of you copies of the book so you would have a little bit more information.
Oh my God. The subtle, like, I gave both of you copies of the book. Hint, hint, I have a book, guys.
Do you feel like you were duped, Van? Like, how do you feel?
First, this book is extraordinary. I don't care who you are, left, right, or otherwise. Anybody who cares about this country and about just the dynamics of power, this is the emperor's new clothes playing itself out in real time. Everybody knew, but everyone was afraid to say, except for David.
Everyone knew and everyone was afraid to say, except for all of the people that literally called this out.
That's right, for 2 years, that something was wrong here. And so, yeah, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration, and loved him.
What was that, Van Jones?
And so, yeah, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
And so, yeah, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration, and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Quinn says, bring back. I got that one. Schick says, lies, lies, lies. Yeah. Barry Dixon Butt says, I pray for your health, Jeremy. Tiny coctosis is not a joke. Vlad says, watch the movie Flight Risk. Sick. People's Doc says, been a family doc for 7 years. Easiest screening we have. They buried this for sure. That's on top of the fact that he had dementia for years. I think it really is. I will continue to repeat what I said after, the election of 2020 and that disaster, after the stolen election of 2020, and then after January 6th, and then they banned President Trump from Twitter, from Facebook, from Instagram. At that point in time, I was very much like, what the fuck is happening right now? I mean, even me as like, I tend to think of myself as a pretty optimistic person when it comes to, President Trump and what he was able to accomplish and what I felt he was going to accomplish. But in that moment, It was bad, man. And then eventually, I think Parler got taken down a few months after that, I think, which was pure corruption. And honestly, there should be an investigation into that with Parler being taken down. There should be a massive investigation to that, because Parler was taken down because Parler was becoming too popular. That's all it was. It was becoming too popular, and they took it down. So after Trump gets banned, January 6th happens. The media has all of these images that they can, build narratives around. Parler gets taken down. We couldn't say literally anything on Twitter without getting our accounts banned. It was really hard to navigate YouTube at that point in time, although I will still argue that YouTube, of the big social media platforms, was the best one by far, but it was still difficult to navigate there. And I just was like, I don't know how this gets fixed. I have no idea how this gets fixed, but I felt deep down that President Trump would not be denied. And luckily, he is the exact person that, we all believe him to be, in terms of he will not give up. He will not back down. It didn't matter how much they stacked the deck against him. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be in this position. But now here we are all this time later, and all of the lies are being exposed at the forefront. JRG Project says a cancer diagnosis makes sense. The regular Delaware trips, Biden's tired state, and look how different he looked during Obama's term versus his own term. I think he was truly diagnosed in 2019, 2020. Yeah, I believe so too. I mean, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but if I'm to guess, I would feel very confident saying that Joe Biden was diagnosed with cancer before he took office in 2020. I absolutely believe that, or 2021, whatever. I absolutely believe that. You're right. Elon came to the rescue. Yes. Without the assist from Elon, I've always said I'm not sure Trump could have won without the assist from Elon. That was a big moment right there. Huge moment. Let's see here. Now we've got apparently our favorite corrupt loser, Bernie Sanders, is apparently admitting that the Democrats are the actual threat to democracy. Let's listen to what crazy Bernie has to say.
The problem I think a lot of voters had is, like, they didn't even know if it was her. We didn't even know if Biden was president. We didn't even know if these were her talking points. And we felt that over the last 4 elections, Democrats, we felt that we didn't have a say on who could be president. We talk a lot about the Republicans being autocrats and oligarchs and taking over democracy, but from the Democrat perspective, and I'm a lifelong Democrat, I felt like the Democratic Party completely removed the democratic process from its constituents. And I think they need to have some accountability.
Yeah, Bernie, the party that literally stole your nomination from you. And unlike Trump, you couldn't stand up against that system, the same system that you were rebelling against. As soon as that system stole your nomination, what did you do, Bernie? Did you continue the fight to expose the corruption? No, you cucked. You cucked. And you endorsed Hillary Clinton, the same person that stole your nomination. You are a fucking coward, Bernie Sanders.
Ability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016. I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Whoa, let's go. All right, Schultz calling him out. You could tell Bernie's like, fuck. How do I deal with this? Look at Bernie. He doesn't know how to deal with this. Look at him.
And I think they need to have some accountability of that.
No argument here.
I donated for you. I mean, I wanted you to, like, 2016. I was like, this is going to happen. This guy's going to do it. And it felt like they stole it from me. And I'll be honest, it broke my heart when you supported him.
Look, but you have, in the world that I live in, you got a choice.
No, you don't. Yeah, you had a choice, and you chose to cuck to the very system that you claimed was corrupt. Donald Trump had a choice. They went after Trump 10 times worse than they ever went after you. Donald Trump had a choice. You know what Donald Trump said? Fight, fight, fight. They shot at him. They attacked him. They raided his home. They attacked his family, his business partners. They attacked everyone associated with him. They attacked his fucking supporters. They put his supporters in prison for fucking memes. All they did is stole your election, and you cucked immediately because you're a fucking fraud.
I mean, a lot of people, including my wife, agree with you. But, you know, you're down to a choice. Is it going to be Hillary Clinton or is it going to be Donald Trump? Not a great choice.
But it ended up being him anyway, so why don't we burn it down?
Well, because it's easy to say. Burning it down means that children are not going to have, you know, food to eat.
What? What? God, always fucking virtue signaling.
Well, because it's easy to say. Burning it down means that children are not going to have, you know, food to eat, that the schools will deteriorate, people will not have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my back on.
I think Schultz basically was like, I'm pushing pretty hard here. I'm not going to push any farther. I respect Schultz for, I think it's his name, Andrew Schultz, isn't that his name? I respect it for pushing back pretty hard. At some point, you can't push that hard when you're trying to be because I don't think Andrew Schultz is supposed to be like a political guy.
Have health care.
I got it.
And I'm an elected official. I got to represent the people.
That's fair.
And I can't turn my back on.
But then could we not also say, if ostensibly there hasn't been a fair primary for the Democrats since 2008, are they not also a threat to democracy? Yes. We often hear.
Fair enough. That is. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that point.
Dude, Bernie is a bitch, an absolute bitch. I'm so glad he got called out on that. By the way, if you don't get to check out all of the CobraCast, because I do a lot of them at random times, if you subscribe to D-Day Cobra Clips, you will be able to see a lot of the segments clipped out. And the channel's actually doing pretty good. So we've had a few videos pop off lately. 1-800-DANKY does all the editing over there. So if you do miss CobraCast, you can at least get the segments clipped out over there. And so please subscribe to that channel if you're interested in seeing the segments clipped out of the CobraCast that you missed. So Panic a Skyfaller says to check Tesla stock since Tim's 225 and dropping comments. Tim Walls. Yeah. So because of President Trump, I decided to I had never ever bought stock or anything like that. And I bought a few shares of Tesla stock, and yeah, it's been pretty good. So I don't have a ton, and I'm kind of nervous to put a ton of money into it, but a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. And I have definitely made some gains on that. So it's been good. It's been good. So good job, Tim Walls, you piece of shit. Trucker Mark says, wait, did Van Jones just say that we are a republic? The Democrats said we are democracy. Van Jones just spews whatever the fuck whatever he thinks is going to be convenient for him at the time. Jared Armstrong says even his wife agrees what he cucked. Yes, even his wife agrees. And he even said it just there. He said, even my wife agrees that I'm a cuck. Not a good statement from you, Bernie. But hey, go for it, man. Patrick Bet David apparently. So I played this video that President Trump uploaded to True Social the other day about Hillary Clinton and the Clinton crime family. Patrick Bet David apparently has a video explaining what he thinks about that.
This video was posted intentionally. Let me explain to you why.
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator.
This is why I love what the president does. He gets ahead of the enemy, knowing what manipulation and games are happening behind closed doors. This is my opinion. Last 2 days have been horrible days for Comey. Comey, in his eyes, he hurt Hillary Clinton in 2016 with the election president week before, and he's trying to make it up. Okay. All right. So Hillary is tied to Comey. President Trump may have found out something that's going on behind closed doors that nobody else knows about. He's getting ahead of it, and he's just putting the pressure to say, hey, if you even think about doing any of your divisive stuff, Hillary, I'm going to expose you in ways you've never been exposed before. If you even come close to it, I think that's what's going on. And if that's the case, I like getting ahead of it, and I like playing offense.
Trump is he's the master of all of this. You're not going to get one over on him. And he's definitely always ahead of his enemy. He's always like one step ahead of them. He knows what he's doing. I'll repeat what I've said many times. I don't think Trump is playing like 4D chess and all of that. I just think Trump is a very, very smart and persuasive guy, and he knows what his enemies are thinking, and he knows how to play the game better than them. I haven't seen this clip in a long time. Flashback to 2022. Joe Biden mysteriously walks off set mid-question during a live TV interview. What? Here we go.
Well, and the ones that didn't vote for your bills but run on them.
That's right.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Nicole, I
much. It's
appreciate
great to have
it.
you.
Thank
It's
you.
great to have
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction and analysis.
He had to go poop. I remember this one. This man had to go poop. Look at him. Look at him right there. He's already shitting.
Well, and the ones that didn't vote.
You see, like, she's in the middle of a conversation. Usually they go like, well, thank you, Mr. President. And like, they go to like some graphics. And then, of course, he's still sitting there. This dude gets up in the middle of the interview.
Well, and the ones that didn't vote for your bills but run on them.
That's right.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Nicole, I
much. It's
appreciate
great to have
it.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day around here. We'll have reaction and analysis to everything we just heard. Well,
holy shit, dude. That is so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, I remember that clip now. Holy shit, that's bad. 2022. Again, I want to give a shout out to Maze Moore, great account on Twitter. 2022, Don Lemon reports on an email sent in 2020 to Barack Obama to former White House physician Ronnie Jackson. Biden was showing obvious signs of cognitive decline during his 2020 campaign, and Jackson had posted about it. Obama was not happy.
Learning about an email sent by the former President Barack Obama reprimanding his former White House physician Ronnie Jackson, who was also the personal doctor for George W. Bush and Donald Trump. Obama wrote the email during the 2020 campaign between Trump and Joe Biden, scolding Jackson for tweeting criticism of Biden's cognitive health. Here's part of Obama's email. He said, "I've made a point of not commenting on your service in my successor's administration and have always spoken highly of you both in public and in private. You always served me and my family well, and I have considered you not only a fine doctor and service member, but also a friend. That's why I have to express my disappointment at the cheap shot you took at Joe Biden via Twitter. It was unprofessional and beneath the office that you once held. It was also disrespectful to me and the many friends you had in our administration. You were the personal physician to the President of the United States, as well as an admiral in the U.S. Navy. I expect better, and I hope upon reflection that you will expect more of yourself in the future." Now, Obama acted after Jackson retweeted a video of Biden along with this message. "Remember the cognitive test that I gave Donald Trump, the one he aced? Sounds like somebody else might need some testing done. Scary."
Whoa. Whoa. Boom. And there you go. Barack Hussein Obama getting involved with the cover up. Damn. So there you go. Should not surprise anyone. Also, this is my CobraCast 199 account. I do tweet out when I'm going live from this account. So if you have not followed it, and if you're looking for another set of notifications whenever I go live for CobraCast, you can go check that out. Bearded Llama says, check Trump's tweet a few minutes ago about his call with Putin. 199 Army. Let me see. I know that they said it went well. So real Donald Trump. Oh, here we go. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So just completed my call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. It went very well. Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations toward a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war. The conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties as it only can be because they know the details of the negotiation that nobody else would be aware of. The tone and spirit of the conversation were excellent. If it wasn't, I would say so now rather than later. Russia wants to do a large-scale trade with the United States when this catastrophic bloodbath is over, and I agree. There is tremendous opportunity for Russia to create massive amounts of jobs and wealth. Its potential is unlimited. Likewise, Ukraine can be a great beneficiary on trade in the process of rebuilding its country. Negotiations between Russia and Ukraine will begin immediately. I have also informed Zelensky of Ukraine. Blah, blah. I'm not saying all those fucking names. So there you go. So let the process begin. President Trump is bringing humanity back. And that is what we're talking about. He is bringing peace and humanity back, and I love it so much. Hell yes. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for the heads up, Bearded Llama. He's the peace president. Big, beautiful ceasefire, says Gerald Armstrong. Rob says, not so great to see Cash and Dan Bongino doing a quick 180 on Epstein suicide thoughts. I have a video on that over on the D-Day Cobra Clips channel. I gave my full thoughts on that. And yeah, I'm not happy about it. Not happy about it. Patriotic Eagle says, looks like Trump got Russia, Ukraine to get going on the ceasefire. Yes. Chaz Dragoon says, hold up, prostate cancer, Joe craps himself. It all makes sense. Yep, it all does make sense. Let's see here. All right, now, last thing before we go, give me just a second here. So much going on. So much going on. I will be live again tonight, so you will get double. You will get double. CobraCast today. And I plan on doing this again tomorrow, at least during the day. Obviously, I have Tuesday night's main event. So we have to keep that in mind. I have Tuesday night's main event. But yeah, tomorrow, like during the day, I will be doing a CobraCast. Panic and Skyfaller says, did you see Hillary got called out for massive hypocrisy on Trump's gift from Qatar? People pointed out that Clinton Foundation took millions from Qatar while she was in office. Best self-own ever. Yeah, man, they really are struggling at this point in time to keep up right now. And the best part of it is they're making themselves look really bad in the process. I mean, they always did look bad, but it's now the tide has turned so much that the Democrats just have nothing. They've lost all credibility. They've lost the power of the media. They've lost social media. They can't control the narrative like they used to, and it's becoming very, very obvious that they can't control it anymore. And while Trump is the biggest piece of that puzzle and always has been, yeah, it's impossible to not give Elon Musk almost as much credit as Trump, but Elon and Trump both together, insane. Now, Trump has been on top of this one right here. So, how much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen for his poor performance during her campaign for president? Why did he accept that money if he is such a fan of hers? Isn't that a major and illegal campaign contribution? What about Beyonce? And how much went to Oprah and Bono? I am going to call for a major investigation into this matter. Candidates aren't allowed to pay for endorsements, which is what Kamala did, under the guise of paying for entertainment. In addition, this was very expensive and a desperate attempt to artificially build up her sparse crowds. It's not legal. For these unpatriotic entertainers, this was a corrupt and unlawful way to capitalize on a broken system. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Let's freaking go. Dude, This is the single best timeline ever. But wait, there's more. There's more. Here we go, right here. According to news reports, Beyonce was paid $11 million to walk onto stage, quickly endorse Kamala, and walk off to a loud booing for never having performed. Not even one song. Remember, the Democrats and Kamala illegally paid for her millions of dollars for doing nothing other than giving Kamala a full-throated endorsement. This is an illegal election scam at the highest level. It is an illegal campaign contribution. Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, and perhaps many others have a lot of explaining to do. Let's go. This is what I voted for. This is exactly what I voted for. I love it, dude. So yeah, the fact that Beyonce is caught up in all this, oh man, that's glorious right there. Let's see. Eric K says a double Cobras. Mod lives matter. Darth Mannix says, Jeremy, don't you ever use 3PO again while talking about the LGBTQIAHOMO plus community, or else I'll release the private photos you sent me with the raccoon. I've been doing that for years. And I usually say, and a bag of cookies afterwards, because the alphabet community deserves to be memed and mocked. We're going to do that. We're going to continue to do that because it's funny. But that's going to bring us to the end of phase 1 of the CobraCast day. I'll be live a little bit later tonight. There's going to be a ton more news to cover. So I hope you guys have a great day. Park Hoppin' will be live in about Park Hoppin's going to be live in about an hour. So you guys are obviously welcome to go over there and check out Park Hoppin' if you're interested. Let's see. Trying to see where Park Hoppin's at. Yeah, Park Hoppin' goes live in an hour. So if you guys want to go hang out with the Park Hoppin' crew, this week, towards the end of the week, I will be covering Epic Universe. So I will be on a Park Hoppin' live stream from the theme parks this, I think, Thursday. And probably Friday as well. So we got a really busy week with theme parks and all of that. The opening of Epic Universe is going to be huge. So that's why I'm trying to do as many CobraCasts as I can right now, because I might not be able to do some towards the end of the week. But even if I can do those audio only, I will. But I do appreciate all of your support. So you may raid Park Hoppin'? I'll raid Park Hoppin'. All right, we'll raid Park Hoppin'. Let's see here. And you guys can continue the discussion over there on Park Hoppin'. There we go. All right. So this will raid Park Hoppin'. You guys go hang out with Krista and Jay and the Park Hoppin' crew. And I'll see you guys a little bit later this evening for another CobraCast. I hope you have a great day. And we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.